Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Warm welcome and good evening to Suno Digital from your host Dr. Umar Riaz Abbasi. Today I have decided to deliver the lecture on the culture of peace and religious tolerance from an Islamic perspective. Because this is the need of the hour, some incidents have occurred across the world, especially in Pakistan. Fanaticism, radicalization has emerged in a few decades, and now we are suffering from these barbaric incidents. What is the cause behind that, and what is the solution to move forward? So, the subject of culture of peace and non-violent communication is extremely important, even more so today than in the past. The contention of this lecture is that Islam is a religion of tolerance, peace, and reconciliation. I shall argue that there are many principles of culture of peace in Islam. However, this doctrine may be misunderstood in some Islamic societies due to poor knowledge of Islamic teachings or wrong education. Therefore, we strongly need to have a true interpretation of religious teachings as well as a true approach to religious diversity to provide the culture of peace. Before we dive into the core essence of this lecture, one of the social problems in the contemporary world is the social conflict that arises from political, cultural, ethnic, racial, geographical, and religious conflicts. Nowadays, humans are tired of the heartbreaking, devastating, and catastrophic struggles and conflicts and looking for a way to have a peaceful and non-violent society. While analyzing the concept of peace in contrast, expressing all forms of violence, this lecture claims that religions provide valuable foundations for the culture of peace and the realization of non-violent society. This lecture, of course, emphasizes the teaching of the religion of Islam. So, principles of cultures of peace in Islam. The primarily principle in Islam is peace. Islam emphasizes on peace in communication with all Muslims and non-Muslims in a society, and encourages adherents to avoid war and violence. The Quran places limits on the use of force. The Quran acknowledges the right of retribution but states those who forgive the injury and make reconciliation will be rewarded by God. The Holy Quran 42 and chapter 42 verse number 40. So there are many principles of peace in Islam which are significant for creating the culture of peace that I shall point to some of them here. The first and cardinal principle of culture of peace is the acceptance of religious faith is optional. According to Islamic teachings, people are free to accept religious belief. Quran says, let there be no compulsion in religion. La ikraha fid deen. There is no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. Whoever rejects evil and believes in Allah has grasped the most trustworthy hands that ever breaks, and God hears and knows all the things. This was the base of Islam. Islam means peace. Submit your authorities in front of Allah. Allahu yad'u ila dar Islam. Allah calls to the abode of the peace. The importance of Islam lays on the sanctity and dignity of human life can be guarded from the fact that it forbids indiscriminate killing even when Muslim armies are engaged in war against enemy troops. So there is no discrimination. That peace must be ensured even during the war. You are not allowed to kill the women, elders, patients, children. You are not allowed to destroy the infrastructure like hospitals which are used for public welfare. These are ethics provided by Prophet Muhammad 14 centuries ago. These are the norms and protocols of war. So Islam prohibits any kind of violence, any kind of aggression, even during the war. So you can assume that in a normal life, how Islam can allow that you can drag up people, you can burn up people. No, these are against the teachings of the Holy Prophet. We are observing, we have been seen in our society. People drag out the people on the charge of blasphemy without investigation, without witnesses, without any proof, and they drag the people and they drag and kill the people and burn their bodies and disfigure and torture their bodies. These are totally against in Islam, and these are against the philosophy of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has actually established inclusive society in terms of state of Madina, and he produced the law and order in terms of Misaq-e Madina, in which he states every citizen has equal rights without regard of discrimination of race, language, culture, ethnic division. So everyone was equal, whether they were Jews, Christian and non-believers. They were equal in terms of citizenship. They were equal rights of citizenship in the state of Madina. They were free to exercise their religious beliefs to their sacred places. So they were provided livelihood equally as believers were provided. So Islamic teachings should not be misunderstood or misinterpreted. Ulama and scholars should regain the approach, and should revive and restructure the approach toward Islamic teachings, and they should tell the public that there is no violence in Islam. Now let me quote some of the things. There is a group which is fighting against Pak army. They are called terrorist TTP or Al-Qaeda and other outbenefits. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam 14 centuries ago provided us the doctrine about these Kharijis elements. They called Khawarij, who fought against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and who fought against Sayyidina Ali, Karamallahu wajhul Kareem. And I must quote some of the sayings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding their signs, regarding their formation. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the research of Imam Abu Bakr al-Jurjani, even in Hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah Almighty said, "In Allah Rafiq wa yuhibbur rifq." Prophet said, "Wa yu'ti ala rifq ma la yu'ti ala lunf." Sayyida Aisha narrated that Prophet said, "Indeed, God is gentle, and He loves gentleness. He bestows for the sake of gentle that which He does not bestow for harshness." Allah loves gentleness. He does not love harshness. There is no room for harshness in Islam. There is a great room for peace, kindness, affection, delegation in Islam. These are the essence and true picture of Islam. We should promote before our young generation, before the West, that Islam is misinterpreted by some of the minor, band outfits, that they are projecting their slogans for the, sake of their own benefits. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that "Sayukhraju qawmun fi akhir az-zama." At the end of time, there shall appear a folk. These are the signs of terrorists which Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned 14 centuries ago. That are Khawarij. Ihdasul Isnan, young in age. Sufa'ul Ahlam, and foolish. Yaquluna min qawlil bariya, they will speak the words of best of people. Okay. La yujawizu imanum hanajirahum. Okay. Their faith will not pass their throats. Yamruquna min ad-dini kama yamruqu as-sahma min ar-ramiya. They shall pass through Islam just an arrow passed through 100 game. Kill them wherever you find them. Okay. فَإِنَّمَا لَقِيتُهُمْ فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ فِي قَتْلِهِمْ أَجْرًا لِمَنْ قَتَمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Okay. For who kills them will be rewarded at the day of resurrection. So killing of Khawarij, which Pak army is fighting against them, is Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is mandatory to maintain peace. So comprehensive discrimination of Khawarij and their signs, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, number one, ihdasul isnan, they will be young in age. So people are young in age, they have been brainwashed, and they have launched war against a state, against state of Pakistan, against Pak army. So fa'ul ahlam, they will be brainwashed. Kathul lahya, they will have thick, unkempt beard. Mutharrimul adar, they will wear their lower garments high upon their legs. These are the signs. So it must be clear. If you find these signs in those people, you must consider them Khawarij. They have extreme mindset. Yakhruju nas min qibal al-mashriq, they will emerge from the east of the world. La yujawizu imanum hanabirahum, faith will not pass their throats. Okay, there are different signs. يُسِيئُونَ الْفِعْلَ. They will extremely oppressive, bloodthirsty and violent. This is loud and clear from Prophet. Hum sharrul khalika, hum sharrul khalq wal khalika. They will be most evil of the creation. So I am addressing those international community who are assuming that the incident at Sawat is a representation of Islam or Pakistan. This is no way and no place with Pakistan and Islam. These are small mindsets. They have been brainwashed, or they are not educated. They have poor and weak knowledge. So they drag the people out of their houses and they kill them without any proof on blasphemous charges. So majority of Muslim community and state of Pakistan and Islam is full of essence of peace. It should be loud and clear. So this is a wrong message that you are portraying as social media on one incident, and you are linking with it Islamic teaching. Islam totally forbade the burning the bodies and disfigure the bodies. As I mentioned earlier, the protocol and ethics of war provided by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Yasfikuna dammil haram. They will shed blood that is inviolable, which imply to their Muslim believers to kill Muslims and non-Muslims. There are different others, signs of Kharjis. And I must say that I should conclude my proceedings by saying the conclusion, which is totally relevant to the current scenario. Because I am watching, I am closely monitoring the social media. The people are, blaming Islam and teaching of Islam and Prophet of Islam. That is unjustified. In conclusion, we need a more peaceful world in which a non-violent communication will be guaranteed. This is a message from Pakistan, message of Pakistan, government of Pakistan, armed forces of Pakistan. Being a student of Islam, I would like to address the international community. This lecture suggests first to teach peace discourse in society for the realization of a society free of violence and culture of peace. Second, to avoid conflicts and violence in societies, cultural and religious pluralism must be accepted. Interactions and friendship between people with different religions should be pursued on hand to hand, and to reject exclusivism and conflicts on the other hand. Since religion is a crucial factor to secure peaceful world, at most every war between the nations has involved wrong religious education. We strongly need to have a true interpretation of religious teachings. This is loud, is clear. One of main causes of misunderstanding and misinterpretation of Islamic teaching is fundamentalism and the avoidance of rationality. Rationality must be adopted. Education in any society will play a vital role in cultivation of knowledge, knowledgeable people in the development of culture, because the human factor is the most important factor in development of growth of a society. I have argued that there are many principles in Islamic teachings that provide a foundation of culture of peace. The first, acceptance of religious faith, is optional. The second is Islam emphasizes on peace and non-violence as a primarily law. The third principle is to pay attention to the spiritual self-awareness inheritance in our human nature that can move people away from the violence. In spite of these principles of peace in Islamic cultural heritage, however, Islamic teachings are misunderstood and misinterpreted in some societies. The responsibility is on the intellectuals and the media to enlighten people to have better understanding of their faith in social aspect. So this was the total comprehensive aspect related to Islamic cultural concept of peace and violent segments. We have disattached ourselves from violence, aggression, and all those who are involved in these acts. They are no connection with Islam. They are no connection with Pakistan and armed forces of Pakistan. Take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.